I have always battled with suicidal thoughts, right from when I was a little girl, right on to being a teenager and a young adult. But look at me today. I overcame it, and so can you. Okay, so Queen Mother's Playbook. Welcome to Queen Mother's Playbook. Today, I'll be teaching you on how to overcome suicidal thoughts. First, you need to understand that suicide puts you in a very dark place, okay? Not being able to have no taste or colors in your eyes, no lights, no form of purpose, no form of life. It's like you're just a walking dead. When I was suicidal, nothing really did it for me. All right. I wasn't interested in meeting people. I wasn't interested in doing my business. I wasn't interested in doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And the very one I remembered from years ago was me breaking the bottle, and I just couldn't bring myself to it. Okay, I just broke that bottle and I sat down on the floor, and I had that voice that just kept telling me, Queen, you're not going anywhere. All right, you're not going anywhere. It was like a mental war. Okay, and so I just had that voice that said, no, Queen, you are not going anywhere. You could call me lucky or blessed. I believe I was blessed to have that moment, to have that glimmer of hope, to have that voice that could give me a second chance. And not everyone gets that lucky. Not everyone gets the chance to hear anything. For some people, it's just darkness all the way down. But I need you to realize that you can always get out of it. Some of the major things you could try is journaling, being in touch with nature, being around loved ones. Being around loved ones could help you a lot. Being part of a community, it could be your church, it could be your prayer group. But suicidal thoughts are birthed from a place of loneliness. And just maybe if you could, step out there. And yes, one major thing that helped me was giving. Yes, in the midst of that, I remember packing up most of my clothing. I went to an orphanage and I gave to them, and somehow it made me realize something. Those little things I took for granted, and I realized people who had little or nothing were still quite grateful and hopeful, and somehow it filled my heart with a bit of light. So try this. Try being the light in someone else's life. Yeah, it works. Try putting a smile on someone else's face. Maybe go down to your security guard or just the random kids on the street. Just buy little things for them and gift to them. Just watching the beam on their faces has a way of giving you life. My suicide journey is going to be a surprise to everybody watching this, because first, it was never anything you would suspect I would be. I was the happiest, I was the most jovial, I was so giving, the life of the party. I was just that chick. I mean, the last thing that will come to your mind is Queen Suicidal. Never, it's not possible. I need you to understand something. For people who are in that dark place and do not look like it, what you need is just a healthy communicative system. If you could just bring yourself to a part where you could talk about it. Find a safe place to talk to. Find someone you trust. Find someone. There's got to be someone who will listen to you. There's got to be at least one person that you could talk to about it. And if you could just get that, because, most of the time, I remember my own case, most of the time you're so busy making every other person happy and neglecting yourself, forgetting that you are human too, and you can't keep pouring out you can't pour out of an empty glass, and you can't keep pouring out to every other person without filling yourself up. So yes, you deserve the light you give to other people. You deserve the same love, and you deserve the same care. And if you could just bear it out, if you could just say, hey, I'm going through a dark place right now, tell people who are mentally and emotionally mature enough, mentally and emotionally sensitive enough, people who can help you through it. All right, because in my case, when I talked about the few times I ever had to say, look, I'm in a dark place, I was cruising through it, so every other person laughed over it. But it took an extra, it would really have taken an extra sensitive person to pick that out, but no one around me was that sensitive. So you need to also be sure that you're surrounded with godly people who are mentally and emotionally mature enough to hold you down when you're at that point. Okay, I tell people, surround yourself with at least you should have at least one person that you can run to when you have dark days. In my case, I had none. Okay, I just literally surrounded myself with people who I needed to fill up, and yes, there is that thing called the superhero syndrome. Maybe that's one of the reasons you're battling, because I had to battle based on the fact I felt that I could fix every other broken person and still stand. And no, you can't. You can't constantly want to make every other person happy and keep neglecting yourself. So maybe it's time for you to choose you. Maybe it's time for you to say, hey, I'm not such a superhero. I do not wear a cape, and yeah, I have bad days too. And maybe it's time for you to be human for once. Maybe it's time for you to be vulnerable a bit and just get the help that you need. So tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm always happy to communicate with each and every one of you. Like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow all my pages on TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram, HRM Welcome. Thank you very much. See you on the next episode. Bye. Okay, so Queen Mother's Playbook.